Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, again to another episode of the SEA Wheels podcast. I actually don't know how to podcast anymore because it's been, 2 or 3 weeks since we've actually been able to catch up.
Sorry about this. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome, ladies. But yeah, I mean, it's been such a busy time for both Julian and I, where end of year having to do, like budgets and all the
I had
crazy.
better thing than to talk to him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, very busy part of the year. Quarter closing also is quite tough. We still have a few days to go, but essentially the cutoff is already there. So yeah, it's a bit tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
But essentially in December, there's very little business going on, right? With all the holidays and all of that. So
yeah, for us, I mean, you guys never really got, well, in your industry, you never got hit by COVID, did you?
no, we're going to be growing 21% year on year.
Yeah, Jesus, wow.
Which is pretty good. I'm very pleased with the operating margin as well. So the OP dollar is quite good. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, the real important thing is to continue looking ahead, right? So you can't just stop at the one result. You just continue to see what's happening and continue to push, because nobody's sleeping right around you. So when you've performed like this and you outperform your competitors, especially, you kind of also draw a target on your back, right? So
yeah,
you just need to continue to lead.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, it's kind of the same thing here. At least in my industry, it's funny watching how people have watching the competition completely, like they're basically like dumping stock into the market here, and market recovery in Indonesia has been so damn slow. It's been so slow.
But you're under a second lockdown or third lockdown. I don't remember where you are at, but yeah, you have a third wave or something, right, coming on.
I don't know. We had our second one, and it seems to doesn't seem to be word on it. They're always like publicizing it like crazy and making it out to be this disaster of disasters, but it's sort of like, well, you lock people down for months at a time, you make people wear masks, and it doesn't do a thing.
Well, I must say that in Thailand it's a bit different. In Thailand, we are still waiting for the first wave. We have total like 3,500 cases. We have I think it's less than 40, less than 50 deaths associated with the virus. And those that have actually were people who already had, kind of, health issues or were kind of, in that age group where it is dangerous. So I must say here in Thailand, it's been very well contained or very well hidden. But either way,
I'm gonna go with the latter because I mean,
I don't think so. Like, we would know from social media. You can't block everything. We would know.
You can. You can.
Yeah,
man,
but it's difficult. There would be some. There's always some leaks happening. Is what I'm saying.
Even here, man, like when there was an election earlier, I think it was this year, and no, last year, and so naturally people riot because their team didn't win, and then but what they do is they basically shut off WhatsApp, or they start monitoring chats and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, again, since the beginning of the year, we would have heard there would have been leaks. We're talking since January, right? I mean, February really, where things started to close down in our region. We would have known. We would have known, and we would know now as well. So, anyway, let's change subjects because this is boring. I think people have enough, and they're hearing enough about that shit. Let's move on to racing and to the Turkish Grand Prix.
The official, this is probably the fourth Mario Kart race we've had this season.
Man. Only the shells were missing.
Yeah, I mean,
but actually, you didn't need shells. You just look at Bottas, and he was just.
Oh my god, he had 6 spins in Turkey, and got lapped by Hamilton. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, I mean, Gasly lost his seat for this last year, so
yeah.
What should we do about Bottas?
I don't know. I
I mean,
think
he signed again for a year, I guess.
yeah.
So
The reality is, I think Hamilton will go before Bottas goes.
yeah, I mean, Hamilton is saying he's going to be racing for. He doesn't. Well, he wants to stop racing when he's 40.
Mm.
Well, he said he won't go in his 40s. He won't race in his 40s. There were quite a few nice interviews, after his seventh World Championship, which again, amazing for me. Everybody can argue. Everybody can have their opinion, but the best driver of all times. He's just consistent. He's just motivated. When you look at the track side, really, he's humble. He remembers the important things. There are a few interviews of him that are very, very inspiring, actually, as a character. What he wants to do, what he's done. So like the character or not, he's got a lot of things right, and that's very inspiring, actually, in the way you want to live your life as well. So yeah, very admirative of what he's achieved. I mean, and I'm nobody actually to be able to say that. Even saying this for me is like, you know what I mean? But yeah, unbelievable guy, unbelievable driver, unbelievable consistency, and smart, just so smart.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
like I
probably
said,
one of the brightest drivers we've ever had.
what was it? He won the world championship in his second season. I mean, that's pretty fucking good.
He won. There was an interview, and I think it was the team principal at McLaren at that time. What was his name? Who is now? Yeah, saying, was it Ron Dennis?
Yeah, it was Ron Dennis.
Who said, actually, he came in as a rookie. He won. He was on the podium for the nine first races he came into Formula One, and on the 10th race, there's a radio message where he was like, not on the podium. I was like, where should I go? I don't know where to go. When the race is over, where do I put the car? I mean, come on. Isn't that just next level? Just unbelievable.
I mean, he's fantastic. Again, I mean, I grew up with cars. I told you the story. My dad was very big into Formula One. Not so much these days, but
that's our target. We need to bring him back.
Yeah,
he needs to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, that's
he needs to comment down below. He needs to hit like. What else is there when you're a good YouTuber?
Subscribe, follow.
No. Yeah. There's none of this.
Doesn't your mother listen to this podcast?
Hello, mom. She'll do it. She's that good. Of a mom.
I don't. But yeah, I don't know what to say to
that. There's nothing to say. I'm even shocked by myself.
Well, see, the problem is like.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll leave it.
The Turkish Grand Prix.
Tell us how you watched
it. I missed it because I'm an idiot. No, I had people actually at home. I didn't I forgot. Well, I did not realize that we didn't have the podcast, right? So it's your fucking fault, because I didn't know what time the race started, and it started earlier than the
1 hour
usual race, like all the races from Europe, right? So I realized, oh, there must be something on. And then I took the remote control, I dropped it, and then I took it from the floor, turned on the TV, and was really, really drunk. And I started watching golf, I think it was.
What the fuck?
And I thought, oh, it's going to be there any moment now. I was on the wrong fucking channel.
Waiting 6 days for the Open to finish.
and then I realized, oh, it's the wrong channel. That might be the problem. I changed the channel, and then I was like, oh, we're already in the middle of the race. So I turned around, had another drink, and completely forgot about watching the race, which is probably one of the best races ever. So now I rely on you to tell me how it was.
Well, qualifying was hilarious. Did you watch qualifying?
I also was wasted. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had such that weekend was just unbelievable. We had receiving people at home, hosting. I was not wasted, but yeah, things to do really. So on Saturday, yeah, I completely missed the plot here.
Yeah. No, it happens, man. But yeah, I like qualifying was fun. like a lot of there's a lot of interesting things. So okay, basically qualifying was qualifying. The grid order was all over the place. Mercedes was starting back in fifth and sixth.
And
You had
Stroll first.
Stroll, yeah, and you
Oh
know
my
what?
God, what a
Stroll should have. Stroll had floor damage,
yeah.
and that's
I
why
saw
he
that.
just lost all the pace during the
I
race.
didn't see the race, but I listened to a few things, afterwards, like a few of the
Yeah,
analysis and all of that. So yeah, when I say I know that, I afterwards I
yeah.
learned that. Let's say.
Yeah, well, I think everyone did. Everyone was like, "Oh, what happened to Stroll?" And it was actually floor damage because something happened because he had a really good lead. I think a 15 or 20-second lead, which mean he basically got a free pit stop. But what ended up happening, I don't know. Once he went into the pits, he came back out, and the car just had no pace.
The tires didn't work. The
Well,
tires didn't work.
yeah, well,
And,
that's
and the thing, the floor apparently influenced also the tires going into graining very early on,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what happened. I mean, at least that's the analysis I heard.
Mm,
Verstappen as well. Verstappen finishing sixth, just in front of Albon,
mm,
is a problem. People are like, why is Albon so close to Verstappen all of a sudden?
yeah, but
Well, it's because you know what happened to Verstappen
yeah. What's that?
during the pit stop. They messed up with his wings.
Oh, really?
So one side of the wing was 7 degrees, the other one was 1 degree up.
Oh,
So he had about 20 or more kilos,
so he was driving a NASCAR.
loading the car. Huh?
He was driving a NASCAR.
Well, yeah, essentially. But actually, it's so amazing when you see like still photos of his tire wear.
Yeah,
You can see that the front right is actually almost half slick,
yeah,
and the front left is like fine.
that's
So that
funny.
must have been a bitch to drive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, like that race was really exciting. Like it was funny watching. I think it was who was he chasing? Was it Vettel? I don't know that it was Vettel, but
Who was chasing Vettel?
Verstappen, and
So yeah,
he
great.
went wide and lost it in the slippery
No, no,
stuff.
no. It was a Racing Point
Mm,
that he was yeah, and he was just behind and he lost it. He spun, flat spotted his tires, which meant early pit stop,
mm,
well, earlier than it should have been anyway. And from there on, and this is where racing in Formula One, right? One spin, flat spot, you need to come in. Otherwise, you're gonna have so many vibrations. It's just impossible to drive the car. And that's it. Your whole race is gone. I mean,
yeah,
this compounded with 7 degrees on one side
yeah,
of the wing, and then so on the right side of the wing, as far as I can see, and 1 degree. Not that I can see, but what the analyst, sorry, saw. Um, and yeah, there you go. I mean, it's such a precise sport, but I mean, what a race! It seemed like first of all, the surface was icy on the dry, and then they
yeah.
added water to it.
Yeah, because they resurfaced the track, and they'd only done it like 11 days before, and I don't know what it was because normally you've looked at racetracks, you've actually looked at the surface. It's not like a road. It's the top layer is like really big, sort of like pebble kind of things.
It's grainy for a reason, but
Yeah,
then yeah, so the tires really attached to it, and the thing is, it wears the tires out, and over the weekend or over time, well, the time of a weekend, let's say between FP1 to the race, because the cars are going continuously over it, you actually rubber the track, right? So
yeah,
it actually gets even better traction.
yeah, yeah. So
This one,
it's totally virgin,
this like yeah, like
totally
a like
virgin surface.
like a virgin, you know,
Been listening to a bit
just
of
for the
Madonna, haven't you?
very first time. Like anyway, it's just like that track was just slick, and
Yeah.
and so the tires don't have anything to hang on to,
Mm.
essentially, right? And that's what the comment of the drivers is as well. Like it didn't rubber, the track did not rubber in.
Yeah,
So
well, the rain didn't
it
help.
and the rain on top of this is like you know the double key school effect.
Yeah, but oh man, it was such a good race to watch because it was all over the place. People were spinning. The start was great. Like Vettel made up 8 positions. It was great to see Vettel and Hamilton
Vettel,
battle it out.
Vettel, Vettel. This when I saw this, so happy to see Vettel back.
Yeah.
Back in contention. I mean, I would have loved to see a 2-3 Ferrari. Leclerc
It
just
could have
messed it
been
up,
possible because
but
Leclerc would have had
yeah,
Perez,
yeah,
but he fucked it,
they fucked it. They
and
fucked it. They fucked it.
and Vettel missed out on a second by that much. It was
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
close,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
So it would have been really nice to see Ferrari's second and third. That would have been like such a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean, right now
with
we're
Binotto not
this
even
weekend we're
there.
gonna go. Yeah, actually, Vettel commented maybe that's
Mm.
a good thing. Well, he joked.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't comment like this,
There's 3
but
races. He doesn't give a shit anymore. Like he's like whatever.
no, I don't think. I think he still loves Ferrari. Essentially,
Yeah,
it's
I mean
it's not exactly like
he
this,
owns a
right? The
lot of them.
attitude. Yeah, and no, what I'm saying is that it's I don't think he has like a bad feeling about it. He knows that they failed in that project. He
Yeah,
should have won the championship in 2018. He fucked it up, because that was his only time. And even if they had mm, thought about taking away his championship because of the engine issues and blah blah
yeah.
blah. At the end of the day, it was his to win, and at the German GP, he just put it into the wall, and that was the second part of the season, and that's where it all went
Well, I
tits up.
watched an analysis of Vettel today actually, and they were saying since the Hockenheim GP, it was just downhill for him.
Yeah, that's
It
it.
just
That's
demoralized
that's
him
putting it
completely.
into the wall behind the safety car.
Yeah,
That's just that's it. But this season, he really had a shot at winning it
yeah.
because he had the faster car.
Mm,
Maybe not the easiest to drive, and definitely not the fastest in the corners.
mm.
But the engine was just
Not that it was
something
legal.
else. Well, that's the thing, and that's why I was saying maybe it would have been taken away from him, but in points, essentially in people's minds, he would have won. So,
Mm.
or at least there would be an argument there. But he didn't take that opportunity, and I think if there's a failure, that's that. Yeah. When they were in a position to grab it, because at the end of the day, it's also, the car. The driver cannot do everything, right? It has to be the car as well. So
That's what I was saying. Like a few episodes back was, when Ferrari is successful because you have like the Holy Trinity. You know, you have a good team principal, a good chief, well, number one driver, and a good engineer, and they don't give a fuck about the team. It's all about what they need to do. And then when Ferrari goes badly, and
like a good gangbang.
yeah, but if you remember, like the early 2000s and even the late 90s, Ferrari had a horrible car,
Yeah. No, but
really horrible car.
it's people don't. I mean, okay, Mercedes did something unbelievable,
Yeah,
and we cannot take that away from them. But Formula One has always been cyclical like this.
yeah,
It's always been like this, cycles of like real kind of. I'm the reigning champion. I do at least 2 to 3. Okay, Mercedes take it to 7, 8. Actually,
yeah.
it's just unbelievable. But it's not. It's not surprising. It's like the people saying, "Yeah, Hamilton. Yeah, he's got the best car." I mean, tell me of one world champion who didn't want. I mean, who won the world championship with the shittiest car?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It just doesn't compute.
Even back in the Lotus days when it was Ecclestone and or Eccleston and
Yeah, either they were cheating or
who was it? It
okay,
was
cheating is a bit well, but
Ecclestone and Gordon Murray. When it
it's
was
it's it's
them.
when they had an advantage.
Yeah.
Like they had an advantage, innovation advantage, right?
Mm.
Or it was always like this. You cannot win. You cannot win with the shittiest car. Okay, Gasly this year. He did finish first with Alpha Tauri. It's an anomaly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, and respect to what he did, the performance and all of this, but it's an anomaly.
He
I mean,
see,
look at how fucked up the car. I mean, the race was for this to
yeah.
happen,
And let's put it like how many
and that's
penalties
racing
there
at the same
were. Yeah.
time.
And that's also another reason why I don't like well, I like Hamilton. I have a lot of respect for him, but there's a lot of things I don't like about him on a personal level. But you know that race where it's like you got a penalty for what? Rah! And then it's like Ricciardo, you got a penalty. All right, I'll drive faster. Like that's where you just go.
Yeah, but it's two different approaches to the same problem.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you've got the positive attitude, and also I think you need to push back also sometimes. All right, so at least there's a reaction.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so yeah, they take it in. I don't. For me, this is really not something. And I know that Hamilton bitching about his tires. Oh, my tires are gone, and then he does best laps
Yeah, but
after best lap, after
you
best
know what
lap,
it
after
was. I
best
mean,
lap.
that was a
But it,
strategy that nobody even thought of. Is as
yeah,
the track was drying, run
yeah,
the wets down to be bald, so they behave like slicks. So you got a bigger
yeah,
contact patch.
yeah.
Nobody fucking thought of that. It was just,
No, but
I mean, because this is the
I
thing.
think
This is the other thing.
nobody can take it from Hamilton. His tire management
Oh
is
yeah,
no one
no
else.
one else does
No
it
one
like him.
else.
But
Oh yeah,
the thing
Perez.
is,
Perez is like the feather, accelerator, and actually that's why he was on the podium.
and that's why
Um,
Vettel was there as well. It's the experience of going. Well, I've raced for 14 years. I
I don't
know.
go like this. I go like this.
Yeah, it's like he's raced for 14 years. He knows how to fucking pull an F1 car through the wet. And he made it work when Leclerc
He
fucked
names
up.
this car after women.
Yeah,
He knows when they're wet.
yeah.
He's a good man.
But where was I going with this? Yeah,
Oh,
but I mean, his
I
experience.
took you off track, didn't I?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about something in particular now. uh, but
Straight into the wall.
yeah, that's exactly what would happen if we're watching one of my racing sims. I'd be in the war. I'd be like, ah. But I spoke about this.
Guys, we're gonna stream at some stage
Yeah.
because we've got the rig. Can you see? Can you see? Yes, you can see a little bit. Yeah. We're gonna be having fun with this, and you have to still tell us. And we said that during the last stream 3 weeks ago, but you still have to advise us on what we should do in terms of VR or getting a 240 watt hertz screen, or what is the best experience when sim racing.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of practicality as well, because our
And
situation
also,
is different. Like for me, um,
in terms of practicality, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm gonna fill up on my jasmine tea.
yeah. Sorry, I'm so distracted by something I just got in chat. But anyway, as I was saying,
Can you show me the chat?
probably not.
Can you send it to me on WhatsApp?
Probably not.
Really?
But yeah, like, fuck, I've totally lost my train of thought. What were we even talking about? Oh yeah, the
About the
streaming
Turkish
stuff.
Grand Prix.
Turkish Grand Prix, but we switched to streaming. So my my thoughts on all of that. We're in two different situations. You have a game room, and you can run.
And you have a gay room. That was an easy one. Sorry.
But see, that's the thing. Like VR is the best. The problem is how good how good the actual VR technology is. And the one thing that's really good about the VR technology, well, the Quest 2, no, the Rift 2 came out, or the Quest 2? Quest 2. It came out, and with the link cable, it's apparently good enough for racing, but not yet. And the thing is, what happened is it got released. The sim racers reviewed it and said it's not ready. And then a week later, an update came out. So they all reviewed it and said, yeah, it's good enough. But they noticed there's a huge quality difference between like the native desktop and the actual gameplay. So what they're actually doing, A lot of them have said wait until the updates keep rolling out and see what happens.
So it's a
And
driver issue.
yeah, so
No pun intended.
yeah, that's the thing I'm really looking at is how are the drivers going to resolve, the difference in quality? Because there's this whole thing about blurriness in the ocular component.
Yeah, but it's
Because
just, yeah, maybe it's a driver, maybe it's an game optimization. Like so. What's the verdict on that one actually? Is it a driver issue? When you say the update, it's a driver update, I imagine.
I think it's a driver update.
But you can also get updates from the game publishers.
Yeah.
In terms of
But it's actually the
the way to
hardware. That's the
prioritize
thing.
things.
It's actually the hardware that needs the update.
So if it's the hardware, are you talking firmware or are you talking the actual hardware itself? Because if that's
So sorry, let me read. It's the firmware on the headset. I think that should make it clear.
okay.
I think that's where the problem lies. And if the Quest 2 can resolve these things over the next few updates, then I'll be going that because it's probably, I think it's a sub $1,000 headset. The quality is better than even some of the wired headsets. There's very little screen door effect, which is like being able to see pixels. And with that, what you're kind of able to do is get a really immersive experience, and at the same time, while I absolutely love
What about the
what
Pornhub test?
I don't know. I've got no idea what their video analytics are.
Are you kidding? Everybody knows you've been also looking at those tests.
Well, I need a
Come on.
headset for that. I don't have a headset.
No. You've been looking at it online.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, I think
You
that's
get an update and it vibrates.
So you get a flashlight with it as well.
Yeah.
But the thing,
Oh,
for me, it's going to be a headset for two reasons. I like driving cockpit view, but I can't drive cockpit view on the TV. It's just the field of view is too small.
I know, but you can change that. You can change your position. You can change the angle. You can change a lot of things actually,
I haven't looked
because
into
a
that.
lot of it depends on how far you're looking. You should look it up actually on websites. They have lots of explanations on how to set up the right angle and approach. All those games do it.
Yeah.
So you should be okay. For me also, I'm like you. I actually cannot stand any other view than the cockpit view, and the reason is that probably I played too much of Gran Turismo and always, on the hood or directly on the road.
Yeah.
And for me, it looks too old if I look at it like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For me, I run splitter view. So you would have been watching the stream on whatever day it was, Sunday or whatever. So I run splitter view purely because I don't get the field of view I want from cockpit view on a screen, which is why I'm going to have to go headset. I also have other advantages because I don't have to rearrange furniture to play the game. I can just drag the set into the rig into this room, and then it's all there ready to go.
Can you do everything like start up Windows and then start up the game without a
Yeah,
screen?
you can have there's this program for it called Virtual Desktop, and it will actually just have your desktop there, and you can go ahead.
Is this like Minority Report kind of thing? We can.
Like augmented reality stuff.
It's a dream, man. It's a dream.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not using the grips for
Because for you, it's going to be a savior. If you look down there and you have augmented reality, it's going to be just a game changer.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right?
It's going to be resting up here.
It's still going to be pixelized, but yes.
Yeah, like Japanese
The
porn,
Minecraft
right?
of porn. Unbelievable.
But yeah, man.
All right, so let's get back to the Turkish Grand Prix that I missed, please.
Yeah, so I mean, we touched on Vettel, so it's the experience. Like he's able to pilot a car through those conditions.
Listen to this, ladies.
And the other thing as well is like, yeah, Leclerc took him. Leclerc's taking more risks, but the thing is, Vettel kept consistent and still managed to hold the gap with Leclerc to
Yeah.
take advantage of his mistake, you know?
Oh.
So I look at that and go,
Brilliant driving. Brilliant
yeah,
driving.
I look at that and say Vettel really showed his skill there.
And for me, what Leclerc tried and everything is just, is the great. It's going and always going forward. He makes a mistake, but he didn't take anybody out. He didn't risk anything for the others. He risked things for himself. Yes, sure, but he didn't ruin anybody's race while doing it. Right. So, no, total respect for both of them. Both the approach for me work. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing we sort of strayed from was the tire strategy. And it goes to show, like, yeah, you had different, you had some, talking about Hamilton's tire strategy and how he was able to manage the tires, still pull a 30-second lead or whatever it was, and then be able to take the win. But somebody else that managed that same strategy was Lando Norris, and he actually got fastest lap in that race.
Mm-hmm.
So he took that away from Hamilton. He finished 8th, so he was in the top 10. The points count to him. And you know, I look at that and say, Norris, I'm really excited to see what he does in the future, like where he ends up. Him and Saints are only 1 point apart in the standings as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And despite Norris's, annoying and disappointing, failure at Spa, because he was also, supposed to score points there. But no, I would say that that race was quite amazing. I missed it. I'm a bit pissed off that I missed it, so I want to stop this on the subject now because I'm gonna cry soon.
But one final thing on the race. The thing I found funny that
you're a
Ferrari,
motherfucker.
the thing I found funny was Leclerc. He got 4th, and then he proceeded to like beat himself up over the radio.
Yeah, even more stupid than Baku.
Oh yeah, and you know what the funny thing about that was? His engineer goes, "Please turn off your radio."
Yeah, reminds Renault with Ocon, right?
Yeah,
Reminds us
but
of that.
it's so
Oh.
funny that I look at that and go, "That's the most Ferrari attitude ever." It's like, sorry, you were behind your teammate. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the
No,
attitude.
he did yeah, he did say, like, congratulations to Seb, but I just messed up. I just messed up. I just messed up. Yeah.
But he
It's a
does this a
stupid.
lot. He like shit talks himself all the time. I don't know if he's trying to show the team that it was his fault and that, or whatever.
I
And
think, it's in the heat of the moment and all of that. When you're in the heat of the moment, when you say something like this, it's really what you think. It's not.
yeah,
I also questioned it, as being, is it really something that he thinks, or is it like PR,
yeah,
and because he does it in the heat of the moment when you're in the, you're still in it, you're still in the car and all of that. If you think about it afterwards, yeah, okay. If it's a week later, then not genuine. But yeah.
So what do you think about the calls recently? There's been discussions from the Drivers Association where half of them are saying we should not have team radios on the broadcast, and the other half are saying we should. Where are you on that?
I think this is nonsense. I think this doesn't really matter. Okay, in the big scheme of things, what I see from this year is don't announce the calendar early on. Give the teams only a month or 2 months notice to know where they are going.
Yeah.
And I know in terms of logistics, it's going to be a nightmare. But when you don't tell them ahead, they have less time to prepare all the aero and all of that.
Yeah.
And don't give them Friday.
Yeah, I enjoyed the 2-day thing.
Yeah.
It was
Just do 2
Portugal,
days.
wasn't it?
And I know it's complicated and all of that. They'll figure it out, but it makes the field come tighter.
Yeah.
Because you don't have as much data, but so you have surprises.
Yeah.
And that just makes for good racing. Surprises is what you want them to have.
Yeah. You want the
Not everything is already prepared. I know that on the 26th of January 2025, I'll be in that track. I've already checked the meteo it's going to be that, and I'm going to be within those boundaries, and I know that the tire is going to be behaving. That no,
Yeah,
no,
I
don't
agree.
give them that. Give them 2 days weekend, and don't give them the racetrack where we're going to be going. Let's say logistically 2 months before. I think it's enough for them to. I mean, we can deal with logistics with like a half, yeah, 10 tons, actually even 30 tons products,
Yeah,
that we have. We can deal with that, in, let's say, 2 months.
yeah.
Why can't they?
You
Right?
know
So
what? You
just
know what?
and vary the tracks. Not always the same tracks where we have the data from last year, the one from the year before, and that's what is the game changer for this year. That's all those surprises.
Yeah.
It's you come
See,
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't. And it's the same reason why I agree with the drivers, but I don't. Right? Oh, about
Mhm.
the team radio thing. Okay, we know they live to race, but remove
Yeah.
that from the equation for the moment. My I'm sorry, but this is an entertainment sport, and if you're not there to entertain us, the fuck are you doing? They have to understand that the calendar needs to be called. People need to buy tickets. People need to buy flights. I mean, like we live in countries where there's no F1, so the only way
Okay,
we can
three
watch it.
months then instead of 2 months. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Oh, sorry, I'm showing you my underwear.
but I look at it and go, there's also I hate to say it, but the business side of it. It is an entertainment sport. It's the biggest motorsport in the world. And let's be fair, like I was watching Sebastian Loeb drive today, but I bet you nobody knows who the fuck Sebastian Loeb is.
Not a lot of people. Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? And honestly, I look at it and I think, I like the idea of announcing it in a very short time frame and leaving it more down to the driver's skill with less preparation from the team to actually
Yeah, and I
dictate the
think it's
race.
seriously. I mean, it's that balance, right? You
Yeah,
want the show, right? So if you do it last minute, you entertain the show.
yeah,
If you do it too much in advance, at least you get more people. And the thing is, the revenue for the tracks is coming from people coming in, right?
yeah,
So the thing is, if F1 understood that maybe they should share a bigger part of the cake with the tracks by doing it a bit later. It's all a question of money at the end of the day.
yeah,
But the Formula One is still the most watched for mechanical sports of all, right?
yeah,
So um, just don't be afraid to change things, to make things up. Don't be afraid of innovating, and don't listen to the dinosaurs. Just remember, why do you do it? And that's what your point was. We're here to entertain people.
yeah,
That's why we do it.
yeah. That's why the owners of
How we
Formula One
bring
have
we
never.
bring the best, we bring out the best show that there is.
Mm.
That's how we do it. The
That's why
best tracks with the
Formula
best
One
drivers with the fastest cars.
Formula One has never been run by companies that are focused on. Okay, that's a lie. Formula One has always had, the Bernie Ecclestons and the Ross Brauns always behind the scenes, the Jean Tots, all that. But
Right, but there's too much politics there.
yeah, but the people calling the shots at the end of the day, I'm not talking about technical regs or anything, are marketing companies because they need to turn a profit for this, or it's just not a viable sport. People are
They,
spending
they
upwards of
themselves are part of this, and that's where
yeah,
the politic is. The thing is, there's that influence from one to the other, and they're trying to, arrange those forces inside, and they forget about the outside. They
yeah,
forget about telling us why, or reminding us why we watch this show.
yeah,
So again, it comes back to why do they do this? That's the most important thing at the heart of everything.
yeah,
They do this because they want to provide one of the most entertaining, um, show
yeah,
to watch in mechanical sport, right? How do they do it? Again, they have the best driver, they have the fastest car, they have the most prestigious tracks,
yeah,
and that's it. That's all that you need.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm on the fence with that. Because this season has been amazing. It's a short
Why?
season, but like you
Yeah.
said, the tracks were mixed up. There was uncertainty at the beginning of the
We put
season.
back on the we put back in the mix some tracks that we haven't been to in like 10 years. There's no data about this. Nobody remembers. Nobody knows what's
Yeah,
gonna happen.
it's the same thing with Portimao. Nobody knew anything about it.
Hmm.
The Turkish Grand Prix, again, new surface, fucked everything up. Imola, Monza, like,
And so for me, it comes back to this. It's that element of surprise that the
yeah,
teams need to,
the
you know,
shorter
to
development
us.
times as well.
Yeah, exactly. But that's that, everything. It comes from this.
Mm,
That surprise effect of,
yeah,
you've got 3 months. I know 3 months in advance that I'm going to be racing in Albert Park in Melbourne.
mm,
Um, oh, I didn't know that was on the map. I haven't prepared the aero for this. I haven't
mm,
prepared the engine map for this. I haven't prepared, anything for this.
mm,
I'll go there. Oh, I don't have FP1 and FP2. I just have FP3. Okay, there you go.
yeah,
And then you go racing, and that's it.
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, Formula One is the only sport where you have all that much of preparation before a race.
Yeah, I think the I
You know
think
the outcome. Sorry, you usually know the outcome of qualifying and the race by the time you've reached FP2.
yeah.
Actually,
And I think the big thing, the first transition they could make to something that's a bit more of a surprise for the teams and the drivers is going to be, sorry, 2 days. It's not 3 days anymore.
yeah, 2 days. That's exactly it. As I
Yeah.
said, at FP2 you already know
Mm,
qualifying, who's going to win, and the race. So just do it 2 days.
mm,
That they don't have that much data. Continue varying the tracks.
yeah.
Just don't go to the same tracks over and over and over again, because that doesn't mean anything. Keep it entertaining, and you'll make more money as Formula One, and you'll be able to share more with the tracks to be able to spring more money to the tracks as well, to make it, it's a biz, right?
Mm,
The business, it needs to be profitable for everybody.
yeah.
um, and it's going to be more interesting for us viewers, so there's going to be more people watching as well. So
Yeah.
you brought in there. Man, we fixed it.
We fixed it.
We
And
just fixed F1.
we know Ross Braun and Jean Todt watch this podcast religiously.
No, it's not them. They don't own the Formula One. They're just the regulators.
Yeah.
Just it's what is it called, the company?
No, I can't remember the name. What's the name again?
With the mustache, the
Yeah.
guy who just left to leave his spot to somebody else.
Liberty Media.
Liberty Media,
That's it.
exactly.
But
Exactly. It reminds me of Liberty City. But
yeah,
anyway,
GTA. But here's another thing on Formula One. The stewards. So Charlie Whiting, before he died, did a fucking amazing job. But now, with the stewards being all mixed up, what do you think about the controversial decisions they've made this year?
I don't give a damn.
Hmm.
They're judging at one time, under one weather, one condition, one thing.
Well, there's a couple of inconsistencies there. Like Charles Leclerc doing
Yeah, but
2 laps without his belt on. That's fucked.
but
That's
you look at which car was it? They had the last race also. They had some belt losing,
well, in
loosening
the
up.
last race as well. Somebody ran off. They stopped the session and then they restarted the session under yellow flag, and everyone was like, "Why the fuck are you sending us out?"
It's okay. It's for me. I don't mind, because it's like pepper on top of your salad.
Yeah.
And that's race condition, and that's why a race should be like this. Yeah, I don't want to contest. I'm not. Okay, I love Vettel. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Ricciardo, and also Gasly. Those drivers. I love Leclerc. Actually, I love all those guys on the grid except
Yeah.
Magnussen and
And
Grosjean.
Grosjean. Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna say.
but no, I'm just kidding when I say that as well. I admired all those guys. So no, for me, it's more. it's the racing circumstances.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in football. In football, at the end of the day, you get away with things. You get penalized for things you didn't do. Come on, it's part of the game. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
The stewards are human. As long as we don't have the AI to judge for every single thing, and the day it happens, it's going to be also very disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, Forget it. It's part of the race. It's part of why we watch, and it's part of why we have that emotion of, oh, why did he get this? Or,
Yeah.
oh, he really deserved that. And, it's part of it. It's part of watching. It's part of the show.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So just enjoy it, embrace it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
The world is not black and white. The world is shades of gray, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So
No, I think it's a good opinion. I think it's a nice way to leave the topic of F1 for the moment. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, I'm not on the fence on this one. I completely align with what you said. But there have been some stupid calls, and I'm just gonna say, Leclerc, what the fuck? Like
in
that?
Turkey,
No, 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 no. When he ran around without his belt for 2 laps,
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
that one they
Oh,
should have just gone, and they can sort of sit there and go, oh, but he pulled himself in. You go, he did 2 laps without a belt. Like, are you serious?
yeah. It's not. I agree with you. When it comes to security, it should be a bit more drastic,
Yeah,
definitely. But again, you know, you're bound to a result
yeah,
as a driver, as a team.
yeah,
You're bound to deliver.
yeah,
And we do this in business all the time as well.
yeah,
You know, Um, I'm actually now trying to use with my team a lot more analogies when it comes, like bringing F1 into into
stories work, man.
guys,
Stories work.
we have service to do. Let's do it like a pit stop.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
exactly.
we do it well, do it reliably, but
Yeah,
within this time.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, so yeah, all of this is understandable. All of this is it's not okay. I agree with you. Security wise, we shouldn't give any kind of margin of error.
Yeah, I mean that. I
But
mean, you can sit there and say it was Leclerc and he pitted himself, but again, 2 laps without a belt. He
it's not okay.
Ferrari and Leclerc should have been fined,
I mean, we don't want
and it should have
another
said,
Jules Bianchi, right?
yeah,
Jules
what? That's
Bianchi
exactly
is
it.
the
Like,
last one who, yeah, and
and Jules
we don't
died.
want that.
Jules died under the same conditions on which they released the Q3. You know, they released him under a yellow flag, and he ran off the track and went into an off car. So,
Yeah,
there's that. But anyway,
he went into a
yeah,
freaking tractor
yeah,
and set it up,
yeah,
20 meters in the air. But anyway, let's not remember that.
yeah.
Racing is back this weekend
It is. Where
with a
are we?
triple header,
Abu
with the
Dhabi.
double Bahrain with two different
Oh yeah, Bahrain.
race designs.
No, it's Abu Dhabi
Race.
twice and then Bahrain, isn't it?
Uh, really?
I
I've got
think so.
Bahrain, no? Yes, Bahrain, and then Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi has always been the closing race, so yeah, we've got Bahrain coming twice with two different layouts, which should be very interesting as well. I just wish that they would do it just 2 days again. Just keep the 2 days. I think the two
Yeah,
days is just working perfectly,
yeah,
exactly like we needed to.
yeah. But they're all
Uh,
3-day sessions, all
yeah,
the way
yeah,
up
they are.
to
Yeah,
Abu
they are.
Dhabi.
Yeah, they are. They are. But I think that recipe is actually the winning one to me.
Mm,
Just change the tracks, keep it going, bring back new and traditional old tracks. Keep keep the ones that are there forever, like Monza and Monaco, sure.
yeah,
But just move around that epicenter of tradition
and Spa.
and bring us excitement. Yeah, Spa as well. Yeah, Spa,
So
far out.
the one
Better
thing.
building and
All right.
go to
So
Nordschleife.
yeah. Okay. So you didn't watch Turkey, and I didn't pay attention to this
I
new.
missed Turkey. It's not that I
Okay.
didn't watch it. I missed it.
And I didn't pay attention to this new Yaris. So tell me about it.
Oh, so I didn't pay attention to it too much either. I
Okay.
just realized today that there was a Yaris GR.
Yeah.
coming, which I'm like, what the hell? But then, thank you, Toyota.
Yeah, exactly.
200 kilowatts,
Brutal.
um, four-wheel drive,
Wide
Yaris.
body,
Come
manual.
on,
Yeah.
Yaris. Well, actually, it has very little to share with the Yaris, and yeah, it only comes in a manual.
Mm. You know what the interesting thing about it is it sort of kept popping up on my feed this week, and all that anyone that I care about was saying about it was basically, "Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god." It's just like Chris Harris and everyone else, they're just like, "This is like the greatest car ever."
It's just great
Yeah.
that we're getting back to the freaking
Homologation specials.
yeah. Just oh, that is just so exciting that um a manufacturer is bold enough to do this. I just say thank you, Toyota, to bring that up,
Yeah.
to just raise the question there. Say, guys, this still exists. Still, you
Oh,
know,
and you know what the funny
it's
thing
like it's
is?
like a phoenix, man.
You
It's
know
just
what the funny thing is? Like the car underneath you and underneath your head, again, a Toyota, the TS05, right? But they're doing a homologation special for their supercar formula in WEC. So they're going to have two homologation cars. They've got this Yaris GR and they're going to have this hypercar that they're going to race in Le Mans. You just sit there and go, this is mental.
please,
Toyota is the company that's
please.
bringing back the fun shit, and it's not
Uh,
everyone else. It's
it
just
went from
insane.
boring to like okay, coming back to what we're saying, it's a cycle. There's always a
Yeah.
cycle, but I'm so happy that they picked up the ball. I
Yeah.
just wish that we can, and I'm French, right? So in case people didn't hear that, but I'm French. I I love France for the Renault 5 Turbo 2, for the Clio V6,
Yeah.
for the Peugeot 205. I don't even remember what it's called, but with
The T16.
yeah, the T16. Oh my
Yeah.
god, like all those cars. I'm proud to be, you know, in a way, as being French, part in a very insignificant way, but of that heritage, right? I love this. Love the DS. I love the all those cars that actually made a difference. The Renault Espace,
Yeah.
all
Oh,
those
yeah,
things.
the Espace,
Like those,
yeah.
all those things that are something different. And I I just hope that they will get a kick in the guts to actually bring something different. I'm very hopeful actually in France, because Alpine is
Yeah.
replacing Renault, and Alpine is supposed to be the bold cousin of Renault.
Well, it hasn't been for
When it
about
comes to
40 years, but it
the
looks
new
like it will.
RS, if you
Yeah.
will, but with actually even more leeway. So looking really forward to this. I want to see another Clio V6 or V8 or twin turbo V4 if you have to. I don't mind, but that revs to 12,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Please bring me something like this.
Yeah, because I mean, you're getting this for the longest period of time. Everyone was getting these crazy fucking hypercars, and it's just like, I mean, I had this conversation with you earlier last week. That was, I am so uninterested in road cars. I
Mm,
do not give a fuck anymore because it's just the same shit with a bit of change here
have
and
a
there.
look at that Yaris GR, man.
Yeah, and then like really, like 100% seriously, I care more about race cars than I give a shit about road cars. But like you said, Toyota, it's like, okay, here's the BRZ, and then here's the new Supra. Say what you want about it, but here's the new Supra.
They're great cars, both
Yeah.
of them.
And then it's like, here's the GR, the new Yaris GR, and then they've got their Le Mans homologation car coming out. You got 4 cars from Toyota that are just like, you're just like, they're all interesting. They're all
Yeah,
interesting. You
they're
know,
all worth a
so
mention for people who love cars. Yeah,
yeah,
those ones. It's just
yeah,
not. They're not. They're. You know what? Actually, this is what I love about Toyota as well. They're A to B cars,
yeah,
but interesting.
yeah,
So it's from capital A to capital B
yeah,
kind of cars.
yeah.
That's a new expression for me.
Mm.
It's not about A to B, which is like the people who are bored about their cars and everything. Is really, I'm going from capital A to capital B because I've got a reliable car that I can use every day, that I can service, that is not going to cost me a ton, and just do it. Well,
Yeah, it's
not
kind of
cost me a
what.
ton. Maybe I'm a bit ahead of myself now because
Yeah.
it's about,
Well,
I think
that
it's 40,000 Australian.
which
The Yaris
nah,
GR.
nah, the BRZ's 40 grand.
No. The Yaris GR is 40,000.
I don't see it.
39,950.
I'll look it up. I'll
You
look it
look
up.
it up. But yeah, have a look. I looked at it at Full Boost, which
Okay.
is one of my favorite channels from Australia. Actually, love that channel. Love those guys. If you haven't
WS
watched it,
variants.
actually, I would go, and they don't have anymore, man.
Okay, so it's
They've all of those have been the second batch that they will sell is going to be second half of next year.
yeah, so it's actually 49. So it's 50 grand Australian.
No, it's 39,950.
No, it's not. I'm
If
looking at it
no,
now.
no, no, yeah, but that's you're looking at like not no be after, but when you reserve them first, the very first batch, when it was reserved, and if you look at Full Boost,
Yeah, yeah.
they actually bought it for 39,950.
I'm reading it now. It says officially priced from 49,500, but Toyota is offering another 100 units for pre-sale at 44,950.
I don't know how they worked it out. You look at the video; they just released one today,
Yeah,
on
I'll
that
find
car,
it. It's on full boost, yeah.
and it was just under 40.
All right.
For a Yaris, I mean, come
Mm.
on.
Yeah, for a Yaris, it's
But
normally
what
starting
a
new
Yaris! What a
under 10,
Yaris!
under 20. Yeah.
And very little to share with the original car.
Mm.
So yeah, just unbelievable what they're doing. And again, regardless of the price, just bring that back to us.
Yeah.
Make the Golf exciting again. Also, push them to make it exciting
Well,
again.
you know what the problem with the Golf was? For the longest time, if you wanted an interesting daily, it was the only thing.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, I guess. I'm actually considering, I was thinking about this, my RX-7 to maybe trade it in with a Golf R, stage 3.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's something that I'm thinking about. Let's see.
Yeah, it might be worth doing, but I mean, anyway, we can talk
I
about
want
that.
something more usable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
understand. All right, man. Well, it's a weeknight for us, so we've actually got responsibilities in the morning. So, how about we call it there?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You've got
All right.
responsibilities in the morning? I thought you had responsibilities tonight.
Huh?
I thought you
No,
had somebody to take care of tonight.
no.
No?
I'm here on my own tonight.
Oh, she has to take care of you then, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Hello, mom.
But yeah, so potentially another one on Saturday then, yeah?
Of course.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. Pre-race podcast, back to the normal scheduled programming.
Yeah. Let's get back to it, and let's try to enhance it with some actual online racing streaming
Yeah, I'll
thingy.
try and work out a solution on how to get that happening.
I get very salty, so
Yeah,
so that everybody knows.
I've got some layouts already ready. I just need to work out how to get the video feeds for both of us. But all good, we'll get it happening.
Yeah. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you,
You guys take care.
everybody.
See you in Bahrain.
See you in Bahrain, guys, and thank
I'm gonna
you.
kick your ass on Formula and F1 in Bahrain.
I've got that blue screen of death problem. I need to see if I can fix it. So we'll try to
All
work it
right.
out. Anyway,
All right. Yeah.
thanks
You need to-
everybody. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all the things you need to do. Looks like we haven't forgotten how to podcast. So we'll see you all again in a few days.
And don't forget to suck the thumb. So yeah.
See you later, guys.
Cheers.